Hello my friends, this is Linol Anderson here with you guys with a brand new YouTube video here. Just putting out a really brief video because I just had a video yesterday talking about this whole Iran USA situation, and that was before the USA struck Iran. And as you saw in that video, I told you that a strike was imminent, okay? That we were expecting one this weekend. Then just a couple hours after I released yesterday's video, boom, it happened. Zion Don went in and he bombed 3 nuclear facilities, apparently, in Iran. And now they're claiming they took out their nuclear sites. So one thing I could say about that, my friends, is take everything here with a grain of salt. This is all part of a much bigger planned out agenda, as we spoke about in my last video, to pretty much usher in their NWO and their financial reset. This is just the beginning, okay? It's funny because Trump said right after he did those attacks, he made a tweet there, and he says, "Now is the time for peace." The nerve of this guy, eh? Yeah, sorry, Don. When you attack another country, when they made it very clear that if that happened, it would be war, that's not the time for peace, okay? Just so you know, my friends, here on out, anytime you hear Trump or any of these guys talk about peace, that means more war. Even the Bible, there's a Bible scripture in like First Thessalonians or something. See, it says when they talk about peace and security or peace and safety, then sudden destruction. Well, predictive programming, self-fulfilling prophecies, that's what's happening. So yeah, time for peace now. No. Guess what? Iran has just declared war on the United States of America. That's right, Iran has stated that the war begins now and that they are seeking revenge and something big is coming. Okay, my friends? So I want to lay out for you guys what I believe is going to happen in the very near future. This is a warning for you guys, all right? Because as horrible as it is to say, the old US of A is in a fresh new war now. Okay, and this is the big one. This is all going to lead to World War III, okay? Because, of course, Russia and China have Iran's back. And then, of course, you know, all these countries are taking sides. Pakistan said that if Israel nukes Iran, then Pakistan will nuke Israel, you know. And then, of course, we got all the Western countries forming their coalition. So this could very easily spiral out of control, and that's the plan. Okay, but there's a bigger agenda at the end of the day, and it's to bring in this great reset agenda to reset the financial system, bring in the digital currencies, CBDC, social credit scores, and just the AI dystopian nightmare. Okay, that's what this is all about. All right, so what are we going to see in the coming days and weeks? Well, what the United States wants to go for now is regime change, okay? That's what it's all about. They want to take out the Ayatollah and install their own puppet. This guy right here, this guy, Reza something. I'll put the name on there. I forgot. Reza Posky, whatever. It's on there. I forgot the name, okay? But Reza, that's the guy. As you can see, hand on the wall, just like Zion Don and every other United States president, right? They all pray to the wall in Jerusalem there because they're all under Zionist control. Okay? So that's who they want to install. And yes, Pete Hegseth just did a conference and he said that this is not about regime change. Okay, if you guys haven't figured it out by now, they lie about literally everything. Trump tells you, oh, within the next 2 weeks, we're going to make the decision to see if we're going to attack or not. 2 days later, attacks, right? Everything they tell you is pretty much a lie at this point. So if Pete Hegseth is telling you this is not about regime change, then guess what? It's about regime change. 100% it's about regime change. So they want to take out the Ayatollah. Trump even had that tweet from the other day there saying how that, oh, we're not going to take him out yet. Yeah, which means that they're going to take him out eventually, okay? So how are they going to do this? This is a major escalation, obviously, if they go in and take out the Ayatollah. Okay, so they need a crisis of major proportions to justify doing such a huge action. So what would that be? It would be an attack on American soil or something like that. Okay, well, already the United States has declared terrorist threat or raised the terrorist threat level or whatever in the United States. Okay, they're on alert. Let's just say that. And they're talking about sleeper cells, they say, Biden opened the borders and we had so many immigrants coming in and illegal immigrants, and they got there's probably Iranians all over the United States of America right now, and they're just waiting for the moment to get the order, and then they're going to do a terrorist attack on American soil, and then that will justify the U.S. going in and pretty much wiping out Iran, just like they did with Iraq. Many innocents will die, and taking out their leader, which, yeah, he's not a good guy either. Obviously not. All these world leaders are pieces of shit. Okay, we know that. But does that mean we need to start World War III? Oh, that's going to be even worse, right? But here's what I have to tell you guys. Most likely, if there is an event in the United States, a terrorist type event, false flag. I guarantee you it'll be Mossad and CIA and all behind it. Okay? Guaranteed. Just like 9/11 was an inside job, this is too. Everything on the world stage is all pre-planned, it's all scripted, and I guarantee you that's what it'll be. But with that being said, the damage it will cause, whatever they do choose to do, that will be real. Okay? So I'm warning you guys, stay away from major locations, tourist places, major attractions, large crowds of people. I have a feeling something like this could go down maybe on July 4th, possibly, which is a big day for Americans, right? But who knows, it could happen anytime. But be safe if you're in America, because they're going to do something. And what's going to happen is, like I said, that's going to happen. That's going to give them the means to go and take out the Ayatollah. And then guess what will happen shortly after that? Lights out, America. Cyber attack. That's really all the Iranians can do, because the Iranians, to attack the United States from such a distance and whatnot, and considering, United States technology versus theirs, well, I guess Iran has a very advanced cyber unit, and we know that's part of the agenda. The plan is to start the cyber pandemic that old Klaus Schwab warned us about, right? And this is what's needed, actually, to do their financial reset. That's what all this is about, okay? Is to usher in the new beast system. So, and hey, you'll probably end up getting like a alert on your phone before it happens or after it happens, letting you know it was a hack. Okay, that's what they're going to do, just to let you guys know. Just like in the movie Leave This World Behind and whatnot, I believe people got text messages, or there was a new show on Netflix with Robert De Niro that just came out not too long ago about a cyber attack, and everybody got a message on their phone. Okay, so they tell you in the movies, just to let you know, that it's a cyber attack, and you'll probably be lights out or internet out or bank systems down, anywhere from 24 to 72 hours, but it will come back on, okay? It will come back on, but it'll be just enough to disrupt the supply chains, cause that mass chaos, destroy the stock market, right? The stock market will take a huge hit, and, it'll be enough to really give them this reset that they want. And then obviously there's going to be even more war on top of it. Already, this war we're getting into, it's going to cost trillions of dollars. You think inflation's bad now? with everything we went through with the sickness and all that, then Trump with all his tariffs and all that, and now add a new war, which will be trillions and trillions. Plus, Trump is building your old golden dome. You guys saw my video on that, and that's going to cost $1 trillion. Not to mention all the AI infrastructure, which I think is like $500 million, which might go up to $1 trillion someday as well. If you put all that stuff in, my friends, you're looking at the collapse of the United States dollar. And this is their plan to bring in this digital system with the CBDCs, or I guess stable coins. That's what Trump is going for, which will be the same thing as a CBDC. That's what this is all about all along, okay? And it's a problem reaction solution, right? They order out of chaos, they create the chaos, they come in with the solution, and of course it's just going to be more control and less freedom for humans, okay? So that's what we're going to witness all unfold. I would say in the very near future we will see this false flag scenario. My suspicion is July 4th, but it could be sooner, but that's my suspicions. And then with the whole financial reset, that might take time. Even if they do the cyber thing and all that, it still might take some time, but who knows? Maybe they'll have all their digital stable coins, CBDC system, no more dollar. Maybe that'll be in the next year or two, or definitely 100% by 2030. We know that, but it'll just get harder and harder. Things will get more and more difficult for humans. There'll be hyperinflation, and it's gonna get really hard for a lot of people, especially if you've kept your money in the banks. You haven't invested in anything outside of the dollar. Like I've been telling you guys, I think Bitcoin is the solution, because whether you like it or not, we're going to that digital system, right? There's no way out of it now, but right now it's a great time to buy. Bitcoin is going down right now because of the war stuff, but once this is all said and done, new all-time highs. Those who do invest will be pretty much get rich, okay? So I think that is a big solution if you don't want to suffer and struggle and be forced to go on whatever stable coin or CBDC system they give you. At least Bitcoin is decentralized, so that's, for me, I think is the solution. If you don't want to do that, though, if you want to resist and see how long that works out for you, well, gold, silver, and even just food, water, make sure you have it all, and at least have cash on hand, because guess what? As soon as this cyber event happens, well, you might lose all your savings that's in the bank. There'll be bank runs and everything. You won't be able to pull money out of the ATMs. Those will all be down. If you're keeping your money in the bank, it's not even really yours. If the bank goes bankrupt or something like that, the bank runs, then guess what? You lose all your money. We've seen that happen many times throughout history. Okay? So, like, for example, if you got $100,000 in your bank right now, if you went to your bank and said, give me $100,000, guess what? They can't. It's going to take time to get it to you because they don't have it, right? So what happens if they can't get it someday? Well, then sorry, so make sure you have some cash, you have some gold, silver, Bitcoin on a hard wallet, not on an exchange, because they're going to hack into the crypto exchanges too. That's something that's already happening many times. You want to have your own physical cold wallet. Oh, if you do these things, then maybe you'll be okay once this financial reset happens. Maybe you'll thrive during it. But for the 99% of humans who are not prepared and who are not taking things seriously and just not even aware of what's going on, just think, oh, it's okay, it's not going to affect me, this whole war situation. Oh, it's in the Middle East, we'll be fine. Y'all are in for a huge wake-up call, and you're in for some hard times. All right, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the coming next little while here, okay, you're going to hear Trump announce conscription draft mandatory. Yeah, the draft will be coming back because this is going to be a long, long war, my friends. This isn't something that's just it's over now. No, this is going to be a new, long, forever war, I think they call it. You know what Trump campaigned against? No more forever wars, and I'm the president of peace and all that stuff. Yeah, no. He just started a new forever war because, as politicians usually do, they tell you what you want to hear and they do the complete opposite because they lie. That's how it is. You know, just like how Trump told you even before he got in, I'm going to end the Ukraine-Russia war before I even become president. And now here we are. The Russian-Ukraine war is worse than it's ever been. All these wars worse than it's ever been. Literally World War III. And it could have been avoided, at least what's going on with Iran. But no, it decides to do a strike, even though, you know, they weren't really doing anything. It was a preemptive strike, all based off speculation that they got weapons and they're going to attack us. But really, it goes a lot deeper than that, and I believe they're all in it together, just bringing in this reset agenda. But the sad thing is it's the humans that are going to pay. It's the innocent people who are going to go through some hard times now. But like I said, these times do create opportunities as well for you to get rich if you know what you're doing. So look into investing and whatnot and finding ways to get your money out of the dollar is all I could say. But again, this is not financial advice. This is just me talking about what I'm going to do personally, just for entertainment purposes, whatever. You do whatever you feel is right. But based on my research and my studying how history happens with what happens with the wars and currencies and all that, that's what I feel and the conclusions I've come to. But you make your own decisions. For me, I'm remaining optimistic about my personal future. I think that there is some opportunity here to go down a better timeline anyways. But I do understand there's a big risk here, a big danger, and that things can get pretty crazy while we transition into this new system. And obviously, I don't like the whole concept of the digital IDs and the social credit scores and all that kind of stuff, and carbon trackers and all that. Like that's the beast system right there, my friends. So it's a shame we couldn't stop it. You know, I've been warning you guys for years, but we're at that moment where literally everything's set in place, and people are going to have no choice at this point. Because like I said, it's either going to be conform to the new system or lose your house and starve to death. And 99.999% of people aren't willing to do that, including those of you in the truth community who claim that you are. So it's a shame. We should try and resist as much as we can once these events happen, as in, you know, resist the whole concept of, you know, the social credit scores and all that kind of stuff, the digital IDs, and we really need to try and fight for our privacy. Okay? We really need to. Because at the end of the day, this is what they're going to do, right? They're going to try and take away all of our privacy, and it'll be a total surveillance state. And like I said, we got to try the best we can, but I just don't know if it's possible at this point. And I know you got to stay positive and all that, but just with all I've been looking into, like look at this. Literally. You see that, my friends? Trump just appointed Palantir, OpenAI, and all that as part of the U.S. military. Well, you see what's on the screen there. Yeah, literally. So they're all officially part of it now, okay? So, like I said, all the systems are in place. So, you know, we could resist and everything, but the AI is already in control. And like I said, soon they're just going to start throwing people in jail. So we'll see what happens. Let's stay positive. Maybe if enough people get on board, we could do something to at least slow this down. Okay, I don't want to seem like we're losing all hope, but there's a good chance that the beast system itself, the AI, total takeover, the collapse of the dollar, going into the new system and all that, there's a good chance that it just might not be stoppable at this point. Okay, the time to have stopped all that was before, but we didn't do it because too many people got a little too comfortable thinking the father of the you know what would never do that, but he did it and nobody cared. So it is what it is. Uh, Maybe once the big solar flare happens, though, a big the end of the big Great Matrix Reset event. Maybe once that happens, a big solar flare will wipe out all the technology, and then we'll have to go back to the traditional gold and silver stuff. But until that happens, and if anybody survives that, I think this is the new system that we're pretty much being forced into at this point. So, unfortunately, you know, you gotta play the Matrix game if you want to survive. But hopefully there'll be some kind of regulation if we get enough people to come together. Okay, enough people to come together, and maybe we could get some things so that they can't invade our privacy. Maybe we could stop. Maybe we can't stop the digital currency stuff and all that, but maybe we could stop the invasion of our privacy, or the social credit score system, the total communist takeover. Maybe that aspect could be stopped if enough people put up a fight. It's hard to say. We don't know until it happens, but it's here. Okay, so let's just observe what happens. That's all we can do, and stay strong. All right, my friends. So I'll be keeping you guys up to date, but I've been talking too much about all this war stuff, so unless something really massive happens, I'm getting back on track. My next video will be a reptilian secret leaked video. I got some very interesting information revealing about what AI truly is, that it's this demonic demiurge force. Well, AI has been doing some effed up things to humans these days, these chatbots and whatnot. It's going to blow your mind. So it's going to really put the evidence that you need to see that this is a very dark demonic force. So stay tuned for that. And that's about it, my friends. Hope you guys enjoyed today's update video. Subscribe, of course, and I am on Patreon. I did put this video up there on the $1, just $1 a month, and we're talking about the spiritual, how you get spiritually prepared for everything that's happening. But of course, you have access to probably 50, 60 videos at $1 a month. I'm always uploading new videos that you'll get for just $1 a month. And then we have other options too, like the Cent 5D class, health class, occult class. Lots of options there that you could join. So check it out, but the free option that's on there, you're not going to get anything. I don't know why Patreon added it there, but if you want actual content, you can take a look at the other tiers. Okay, my friends? Link is down below, and that's it for today's video. Until next time, Lionel signing off. Stay safe, okay?